As another signing day goes by, the West Virginia Mountaineers got several impact players and a couple of secret ones you didn't know about. Let's talk about them. And did Rich Rod ban TikTok in the locker room? Let's talk about that too. This episode of Locked On West Virginia is on now.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And what is up? Welcome back in, guys. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. This is Locked On West Virginia. Going to be brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Locked On College for $20 off your first purchase. Can't appreciate you guys enough for being here. Another exciting day. We've got basketball tonight. That's going to be something fun to talk about. We've got signing day today to talk about. I'll break down a few players for you guys, including a special player that, I've been hinting about for about a month, really, when you get into it. So let's talk about it. Let's start there. How about that? A guy that I have been having conversations with going back a month at least. This is a guy that is really ready to be a Mountaineer. We had talked about it so many different times, and he had a lot of obstacles to overcome to make this happen for himself. And so I think he deserves his flowers, absolutely. Adam Tomczyk is, in my opinion, going to be one of the more underrated signings in this class. And he had multiple Power 5 offers. He could have went to Arizona. He actually had a teammate that went to Arizona. Instead, he chose to stay home at Mountaineers because he believes in this process and what that team is working towards. He's a 6'4", 245-pound defensive end with elite hands, guys. He really sheds blocks like a monster. He gets off of blocks. I'd love to see what his arms measure, because they're really long. He started out at Utah State, and so that's a Division I, but he only appeared in one game, and then went to the JUCO route, and that's where he really kind of exploded. He is a first step guy. What I mean by that is his first step is really, really good. He gets off the ball quickly, and it's a mixture of cadence and just, sometimes it's instinctual too, but there's some guys that are just better at that because it's reflexes, right? As soon as that ball begins to move, you move. It's like the starting gun going off. Some guys are better at it than others. Some guys have a lot of makeup speed. Some guys have a lot of makeup power. Some guys have both. Adam Tomczyk has both. So what he does really well is, as he comes off the edge, he uses his considerable leverage advantages, being 6'4", 250 pounds, and drives people back into the quarterback. But normally he beats them around the outside. For a bigger guy, he gets a lot of quarterback pressures. He didn't get to the quarterback as much as I think he would have wanted this past year, but he's got all the tools to be a odd front or even front defensive end. He probably play inside on the even front, but in my opinion, but definitely on the odd front, I think he'll play on the outside. And like I said, he's got that quick first step. He uses those hands to get pressure. And like I said, coming off the blocks, and that's including the run game, he does a really good job. And that's why Power 5 schools were reaching out to him down the stretch here. He has great closing speed, way better than I thought it was going to be. The first couple plays I watched, I was like, I don't know how good his pursuit is. And one thing is, though, he plays to the whistle. It's not – there's no way he's stopping before the whistle blows. And he's got 2 years left. So he's got a lot of time to work on his body if he wants to get bigger, smaller. Maybe they bulk him up to 260, 270 and play him inside a little more. I'm not saying they couldn't do that. He's certainly got the size and frame for it. He's coming from California to be a Mountaineer, and he is happy to be that. And like I said, man, this is a guy that I think we should all be proud of to have in Morgantown, and I think he's going to make an impact. So everybody welcome Adam Tomchek to Morgantown because he's going to be one of my favorite players to watch this upcoming off season. Keenan Eck, we knew about him. We knew about him for since way back. Really, he officially committed a couple weeks ago at least. This is another guy, man, that you look at and he's y- you know he screams off the edge himself. I really like his game too. He's another JUCO guy, just like Adam Tomchek, by the way. And by the way, that's how you pronounce Tomchek's name. It's Tomccyzk or CZYK, whichever one it is. But it's Tomchek. So, and just like him, Keenan Eck was really fired up about the West Virginia turnaround, wants to be a part of it, and has got seasons left. You know, Eck had 10 and a half tackles for loss, 6 sacks, a forced fumble, and he was the guy that was started out in Division II. So he continually moves up the ladder. And I think what I like about Keenan the most is just the overall size, 6'4, 6'5, 230 pounds, a guy that can probably put more in his frame as well. But he is a true pass rusher as well. And I think Keenan Eck is going to make an impact, obviously. Up next on the list, guys, is there's a lot of guys on this list that I'm excited about, but I don't know if you can find another one that I'm more excited about than there it is. Cameron Torber. So what shocks me about this one? I went to go look at his because first of all, he played at Hoover, right? And I don't know if it's the Hoover or not. It could be a different one. He's 6'4", 235, linebacker, defensive end combo, but he's an outside linebacker. He had 102 tackles, 4 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, an interception, and a blocked field goal. That's some production up and down the line. But I'll tell you what, man, I don't know how. If you go look at his profile, he's unranked. He had no Power 5 offers beside West Virginia. And I was expecting to be I normally I can see like, okay, I can see what they're seeing in him, like a diamond in the rough. This is a complete whiff, a complete miss, not on our part, on other teams' parts. There's no way, and I'll put my claim, I'll stick anything I've ever said about anything, any player, anywhere, anytime on this guy. I guarantee you he makes an impact. Go watch this kid's tape. I was shocked, absolutely flabbergasted when I watched Corber's tape, and I couldn't believe that this 6'4", 235-pound guy that's running 4.5 all around the field, he has to run that fast. Really, really great speed, really, really great angles, tackles well, nasty streak, got great pass mushing moves. They run a double mug with him a lot, which is a double A-gap blitz. And he's really good at beating guards and centers and just every kind of thing you can think of. And he does it really, really well against really good players. I couldn't believe that he had so few offers. And then I found out he didn't even start playing until his junior year of high school. So that makes a lot more sense because I was like, how the hell is this guy not getting any offers? Not that he didn't get any, but he didn't get as many as I certainly thought he was going to, And after watching the tape, because I did it backwards, a lot of times I will look at the offers first, and his offers were Alabama A&M, Austin Peay, Jacksonville State, and Middle Tennessee State. And this is a guy that they were looking at while at Jack State that they was like, hold on a second. We're gonna go ahead and have a look at this guy in Morgantown, and we're gonna bring him with us whenever we move. And they did. or at least they continued to recruit him anyway. Um, I don't know what, he plays in Georgia. It's not like it's not like he plays in West Virginia. Even like, no offense to us, it's not. But we don't have the greatest high school football, and I just couldn't believe. Like I said, this kid, he's going to be special. I really love him. So if you get a chance to go check out Torber, like I said, do so. You won't regret it. Up next on Locked On West Virginia, I'll discuss one or two of the other guys that I haven't gotten to yet. And did Rich Rod ban TikTok in the locker room? That's what I heard today. Was it rumor or was it true? Let's find out. This is Locked On West Virginia. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is brought to you by Game Time. Looking for tickets to your next big event, whether it's a concert, comedy show, or sports game, finding the right ticket at the right price can be a headache, but with Game Time Picks, it's never been easier. Let me tell you how that works. With Game Time Picks, the app does all the hard work for you, curates the best deals so you don't have to waste time searching through endless ticket listings. I've been using Game Time Picks for a while now, and here's why I love it with the capital L. Curated deals make it simple to find great seats at great price. No more sifting through thousands of options, guys. The seat view is a game changer. You can hit before you even hit buy. You can look at your seat, look around, see if it's somewhere you want to be. The best part is you're covered with Game Time's lowest price guarantee, events cancellation, job loss protection, etc., making it one of the most flexible in the ticketing industry. Are you ready to make your next event better? Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but you have to do this. Download the app and go use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download the app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed, and then ask yourself the question of questions. What time is it? It's game time. All right, segment 2, cracking a do. I know you guys will yell at me, but I did a lot good for myself today. I went to multiple doctor appointments. I went and bought nothing but salad. I did a bunch of different stuff to try to help myself. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. I think eating healthier is going to help me, and I have a plan for it. I met with a nutritionist, so I think that's something that, a lot of people don't do when they decide to eat different. Talk to somebody that kind of knows what they're talking about. Because I was thinking in carbs, and they were telling me, like, no, you need to really do calories. Anyway, we're going to work on this. So thank you, guys. I went and picked up a Kobe Bryant hat while I was out because I like the Mamba mentality. So I decided to do that too. All right, so getting back into some of these commits really quick, I'll just touch on them really quickly because I think I've gotten through the ones that I haven't talked about a lot. Yeah. Let me make sure. So there is Monty Weaver, Charmarius. Yeah, is Charmarius on here? Yeah. Charmarius Bomar is on here. Philip Bowser was another one. I haven't talked about him yet. I haven't had a chance to check out Bowser's tape yet, except for like one or two plays. Looks like a really explosive defensive lineman. It's probably going to take a few years to get ready, but that's not. I haven't seen enough to really know. So, but I do like his size and his frame and some of the stuff I saw him doing. So, hopefully, he's the guy that West Virginia can use in the future. Oxley is another bandit, another great pass rusher for us, guys. So they loaded up on pass rushers, no doubt about it. Oxley is this really fast off the edge. We talked about him the other day too. So there's a lot to like about these guys. I think, especially Torber and Tomchek and Eck. I love those three guys. But I mean, if you want to talk about Charmarius Bomar and Marty Weaver, the kids from South Carolina are dynamite kids, and both are in that 4.3, 4.4 range, incredibly fast, 5'10" both, right about 180 to 170 pounds a piece each. They're very similar. They're not exactly the same from a route running and yak perspective, yards after the catch, but they do a lot of the same stuff. Very impressive. So I talked about them the other day as well. All right, so I was told today, and I've confirmed this from a few people, so I don't have the exact way that it was said, and I don't have a lot of context. But I want to talk about this just as a concept until I figure out a little more on it, because I was going to do an episode on it, and I didn't have time because it's about getting down to the time where the internet starts slowing down, and I didn't want to do that again this week. So let's talk about Rich Rod pop banning TikTok. Like I said, I saw Irrational post this. Then I asked some people in my Discord. They said he did say it on Three Guys said it, that he was banning TikTok in the locker room. I found that to be pretty fascinating. I think it's one of those things where it could come back and bite him, maybe. I don't think it will, but it could, absolutely. Because there's, some of these guys really live on TikTok, and it's just that generation, right? I mean, it's part of the fabric of really their era. And I think it's one of those things that's going to be hard to take away from them in any setting. But I think the sanctity of the locker room is something that Rich Rod especially holds very dear. Neal Brown did too. Very, very, quiet, reserved kind of person in the locker room setting. He wants it to be, what's the word I'm looking for here? No distractions, that kind of thing. So I'm not shocked that Rich Rod would do something like that. What's the impact though? Well, you're drowning out the noise, the rat poison, as Nick Saban would call it. You're also protecting other people's anonymity that maybe come in and speak, or maybe you have a recruit on campus that you don't want people to see, or there's all kinds of problems you can get into with TikToks while in the locker room. I don't think it's something that he's doing like all the time. It's just like when you're in the locker room, stay off TikTok, stay off probably any kind of pictures, right? And I think that's more than fair. So a lot of people are kind of freaking out over it, like how can you tell these kids what to do? And are you allowed on TikTok at your job, right in front of the customer? Like we have to get out of the mindset that these guys are just college players anymore. Like a guy like Jamori Robinson, I'm not saying he won't be a Mountaineer. He's to me, he's like a hired mercenary. Michael Coates Jr., that's a mercenary to me now. Like these guys are coming in to do a job, to kill somebody, hopefully Pitt, and move on and get drafted. Like this isn't Zach Frazier. This isn't Wyatt Milam, really. This isn't Garrett Green. These are guys that are probably wouldn't have chosen West Virginia had they had more offers. These are guys that would have chosen other places more likely. They've fallen to West Virginia for a multitude of different reasons, like Jamori Robinson, guys like him. Like we don't get those kind of guys very often. There's reasons for it, but I'm not going to go into them. No character issues that I know of there. It's just that there were some things that other teams didn't pursue him for, but not injury, nothing bad really. I think it's kind of silly anyway. But anyway, just getting off track. So I am in agreement with Rich Rod and the ban in the locker room of TikTok. Let me know how you feel about that in the comments. Let me know down below. Do you agree with if Rich Rod banned TikTok? I still have to 100% confirm it, but I'm pretty sure it happened because a lot of people have told me. And I'd love to know your opinions on that. Also, the new recruits. Adam Tomchek was a big signing today. I've been holding that one in the holster for about a month, like I said, and he and I have been talking, and it was really good to finally get that out for him today, because he's been telling me like for a couple of weeks now, man, I'm just waiting on him to send me my media. Then he updated me, man, I signed the paperwork. Like he's been really raring and ready to go. He's super excited about it. So Adam Tomchek especially, I'm excited for. Up next on Locked On West Virginia, we got a big game tonight. Let's talk a little basketball before we get off here. Be right back. This is Locked On West Virginia. And we're back on here on Locked On West Virginia. TCU Horned Frogs under Jamie Dixon have regressed. They're not, they're not that tournament team they usually are. They are firmly out of the tournament as we would speak today. They can get right back in it. They got West Virginia and Iowa State both to be quad one wins back to back. I don't think it'll happen, but I think they're going to be ours and Iowa State's get right games. And so you look at what they've done lately. They've got, they just beat Colorado, a team that played us really hard. So they've got, talent on the, it's not like they have no talent. Like if we don't come to play tonight, we'll lose the game. But Texas Tech throttled them. UCF beat them by 30. Kansas beat them by, looks like 71, 74, 13 points. They did beat Baylor, which was pretty shocking. Utah beat them by it looks like 8 points. They beat BYU by 4 points. Houston beat them by 20. So it's kind of a mixture of things. I think it's one of those games where we might win this game by 6 or 10 points. We could stomp their guts out. There's a lot of different ways it could go. Curious to see what the spread is in this game. See if I can find it really quick. It will be on ESPN Plus, our favorite again. We live on ESPN Plus, don't we? It's all right. We'll have our time in March, man. I think this team deserves more coverage than it gets. But without Tucker, we're not quite as exciting as we would have been, unfortunately. FanDuel line. Okay, so as of 1 day ago, it looks like the line was at it's taking a second here. Okay, so TCU minus 1.5? That can't be right. If TCU's minus 1.5 in this game, go get your money. If we're getting points, that can't be right. I know it's a road game, but this team's 11-10. That's pretty crazy. I really would have thought we would have had a 4 or 5 point advantage here. They really like the Horned Frogs at home, and I know there's a lot of factors that go into it. Let me see if that's right. If that's the case, I'm going to put some money on this game. I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to pick us like this is not even with my heart pick. This is a true. Yeah, I see TCU minus 1.5. We're getting 1.5 points. I think we're going to win this game outright. If I were you, I'd go put $100 on West Virginia tonight. I'm going to. You think Darren DeVries and them boys are going to lay down after just losing 3 straight, just now getting back on the winning track? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. These boys are going to win tonight. I have a good feeling. I'll be doing a post-game live. You guys will all be there. We'll be excited. It'll be late. I'll be griping about it. But it'll be fun. I'll crack a do with you guys. Maybe even a Dr. P. I might do both. Double fist them. But West Virginia TCU tonight. This is going to be a fun game. Absolutely. I don't know. I haven't seen any injury reports yet. Let's see. What about TCU? Obviously, I don't know. I'm trying to find a TCU, anything to do with TCU here off the top of my head. I should have had somebody on. Well, let's do it like this. I'll just click on their last couple games here and see who's doing what for them right now. Okay, so David Punch, 19 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist against Colorado. Ernest Uday Jr. was like 7 rebounds, 2 assists. Bashan Alette seems to score around 8 points right here. Noah Reynolds, 11 points. And then a bunch of nothing in that game. Let's see what they do what they've done in a couple other games really quick. Let's look at where was that high scoring game they were in. There's one against Montana State. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, that's Shazarian White. I wonder what happened to him. Uh, Looks like Noah Reynolds scored 15 in that game. Punch scored 8 in that game. Let's check one more here. Let's look against Arizona where they scored 81. Okay. Looks like Noah Reynolds once again in that game. Alette scored 18 in that game. So it looks like they've got a couple guards that can score. They've got a big guy named Punch that can score. Looks like Trezarian White. I haven't seen him in any of their latest games. Let me check Texas Tech and see if he played in that one. Yeah, he did. Okay, so maybe he just missed a couple games there or something. But so it looks like they've got a couple guards here that can score. I should have had a little more research. But this is going to be an interesting game. I think West Virginia should win. I'm not extremely worried about it. I think Javon Small should be the best player on the floor tonight again. And I think he'll they'll probably key on him and Amani and those guys will get off. Looking for a West Virginia victory tonight, guys. It's going to be fun. Don't forget, like I said, we win the game. I'll be here to do a post game afterwards. It might be too late to do one if we lose, but I mean, I'll still do one if you guys want to see it. If anything dramatic happens, I'll obviously be on here. It's really all I got. Great signing day. Rich Rod Band TikTok. We talked about the basketball game. Now it's time to just sit back and watch the game. Let's go Mountaineers. You guys drink beers, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a great day, guys. Let's go Mountaineers. This episode's over, and I'm out of here.